Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Glitch Tech, Season 2, Episode 4. So yeah, it feels like it's been a bit since we've gotten to more Glitch Techs, but we're getting to more today. And I don't have too much to say going in on this, because it's like, again, most episodes of this are just kind of mostly episodic. Just kind of take it as it goes, see what you get. So, yeah, I mean, the only ongoing things right now are the HQ. There's something clearly going on with them, and possibly Riley. I think that was her name, the girl from the first episode of this season. She's possibly gonna return, but I don't know for sure. Um, but that's pretty much it for ongoing plot points. Like it's really focused more heavily on the kind of slice of life stuff. Each episode focusing on like different genres of video games and uh different like references and specific plot points and storylines and all. Each episode is kind of its own thing. Like a lot of shows do that. A lot of cartoons do that. But at the same time, it's hard to talk about it like in any sort of continuing fashion because of that. So there's really not much of anything to say going into this. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know like what this episode's going to be about, what it's going to feature, anything like that. It could be anything. So it's hard to say. Um but I guess we'll find out. So let's just get this going and hope for the best. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in today, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, everyone, we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So there is this 1993 graphic adventure game called Day of the Tentacle, which is a sequel to an 87 game called Maniac Mansion. But either way, the game follows these characters as they're trying to stop an evil purple sentient tentacle from taking over the world. And there were points in this episode of Glitch Techs, specifically with like the tentacle heads and everything on the people, on the clones, that very much made me think of that. I've never played the game. I have never played Day of the Tentacle. I've only heard of it and maybe seen a couple little like screenshots and clips from here and there throughout time. But I've never actually played it. I was never huge into those kind of games in general. Not that I dislike them necessarily, but they were never as much my thing as other kinds of games. But yeah, I've always heard of it. People talk about it very fondly. It's very well remembered, and people look back on it with a lot of love. It's a really popular game. So I kind of looked in. I kind of looked at it growing up, like just without really thinking about it. I just didn't really care, and I just never really got into it. But I've seen enough of it to know, to recognize it if I saw it. And again, I got very reminiscent vibes of that here. This episode was fun for a number of reasons. Not even just for the possible references to Day of the Tentacle, which I honestly feel could very well be intentional. But I like how the end fight was basically a raid battle, a giant raid battle. Like that's very common with like MMOs and shit. Even Pokemon Sword and Shield integrated that in with the max raid battles and all of that. So it's kind of fun getting to see that in here, just as another aspect of gaming that they integrated very well into this series. Because it's like it's clear that that monster was strong, and yeah, Mitch was able to take it on before, but let's be honest, Mitch is very very strong. The problem is this one has gotten stronger than the one had back at the house. So even Mitch alone wouldn't have been able to take it on himself. So we see that all of the glitch techs there, who were at the base at the moment at least, needed to work together and take it on. And I like that. I really like that. It was cool to see. This episode also did a lot for Mitch as a character. Like before this, like we've basically seen him as just kind of the asshole grifter who's just kind of a thorn in everyone's side. But this one gives a little more to his character. It humanizes him a bit. We get to learn about his past, find out that he was, I forgot exactly what they called the platform, but it's basically he was a Twitch streamer. He was a Twitch streamer, and he had fun with it apparently. But then he started working at Hinobi, and he began to change. It's like maybe it's because of the fact that he started feeling like he was doing something bigger in the world, but he started to kind of have this very conceited view on things that he didn't have when he was younger. Um, he just became so self-important. And by the end, even though he goes back to normal and everything, we do get to see that he's at least willing to work with them a little more now. And even if even if it turned out to be a trap to steal their XP from them and everything, we saw that he was still at least doing something a little more than he would have done otherwise. So I think the possibility for Mitch getting redeemed is there. And I also think that if they are going that route, they're handling it in a very, very slow manner. They're really building into it. And I think that's the right way to handle it. That's what they did with Zuko in Avatar The Last Airbender. And that was a fantastic redemption. People cite that as one of the best, if not the best, redemption story in media, even. And so the fact that they're taking their time on this with Mitch, if that is the case, if that is what they're doing, then that's a good sign. Because it'll make it feel more earned, make it feel more realistic. So I can appreciate that. Let's hope that they continue to do it right. Or maybe they'll just not redeem him at all. I don't know, we'll see. Another thing this did was it gave a little more interesting character stuff to Zahra. Now, I already liked Zahra. I liked her kind of, not really cold personality, but she has like this kind of no nonsense attitude to her, where it's just like she doesn't emote too much, but when she does, it's like it's a really notable moment. And she has kind of like this really like almost not completely too serious, but because we've seen her having fun, we've seen her goofing around and everything, but she's had this kind of personality where she's like not as emotional and wild as say Miko or Five, um, but she's very much more the straight man of the group. Let's put it that way. She's the straight man of the group, but she also has fun as well. I guess that's the best way to put it. Um, but in this episode, like even beyond the creepy ass stuff we saw with the clone version of her, we actually had some legitimate development and characterization with her. She has a crush on Five after he told off Mitch. Five stands up to Mitch for once, not only just standing up to him, but actually telling him off, like actively and angrily telling him off. And Zahra, something like clicks in her brain and she falls for him because of it. I guess she finds that really attractive or something. I mean, I guess, sure. I mean, confidence and willingness to step up for yourself and your friends is like, that's awesome. But, um, and she kind of grows these feelings for him. And so throughout a lot of the episode, you see her trying to like talk to him and stuff. And I left my car in my wallet. That line was hilarious, and then seeing her freak out over the fact that she said it afterwards was like just the best. Like, I mean, I already liked Zara. I did. But it's like this episode really just made me love her even more. Um, and it's like I'm okay with this ship. I'm okay with the idea of Five and Zara. Obviously, this the easy choice is shipping Five and Miko. Obviously, everyone's going to do that. But I'm actually okay with the idea of shipping Five and Zara. Um, I mean, hell, even just the point where the clone compliments him, kind of a weird compliment, but still, like he actually gets a little flustered over that, and it's actually kind of cute. Um, so I actually really like seeing that. Um, and I'm not even saying that I necessarily want this show to confirm or canonize anything. Honestly, with this show, I'm not really too invested in that happening. Unlike other shows where it's like, oh yeah, this should probably happen. Now this one, it's more like if it happens, cool. If it doesn't, fine, whatevs. I don't mind as long as the show's still good. I mean, because this show, let's be honest, is about video games. It's about video games and about a passion and love for video games. And they add in the story of the episodes and the characters and everything, and that's awesome. But that is what it is mainly about. And so we acknowledge that. And yeah, it's fine. Like the romance, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's fine either way. um, but yeah, I enjoyed this. I'm interested to see where they take some of the stuff that was built up in this one. Zara's crush on Five, Mitch's past and his possible redemption in the future. Just a lot of this. I really want to see where they take this and how they handle it going forward because they could do so much great stuff with it. It's just there was just so much possibility at this point, and I'd really love to see it continue. I just legitimately would. But in the meantime, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode. And thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.